I'm going to bring Katie Coates to the red carpet. Hello, darling.
Hi, Angela.
And so Katie Coates is the author of Yes Vote, the public hearing plan for developers. Now listen, before we start talking about this, I want you to think about whether there is someone in your family or in your friend circle who is a commercial or a residential developer, because you are going to want to send them this link. Katie, we're going to tell people just a little bit about your book. I know we've got some developers out there. My brother-in-law is a developer, so shout out to him. What is your book about and who is it for?
Well, I wrote this book for my developer clients in all aspects of real estate: investment, real estate, commercial, industrial, shopping centers, hotels, churches, schools, residential of all sorts. And they all need to get approval from varying levels of government and public agencies. And it's very difficult to get organized to go to your public hearing, and then you show up there and the only people who are there besides yourself are opponents. So this is how to build support, overcome opposition, and get approval from the decision makers.
It's so powerful. And if you have a subject matter expertise like this, just think about what it would be like to get that into the hands of people you can help, because obviously you can't work personally with every developer in the country.
That's
so
right.
What an amazing way to get your body of knowledge out there. Let's see, we're going to find you some questions here. Mindy is asking, oh, this is a good one for you. Mindy's in Colorado. Hey, Mindy. She says, how did you become clear about how to share your message? I remember this part of the journey.
This was a very interesting process, and I think the only reason it really became clear for me was through working with you and getting the coaching in our wonderful group with my cohort. It was really synergistic, and as everybody delved into their own subject matters and we became more clear about our own messages, my message became clearer for me. And it was just really through that whole thing of trying to serve the people that you've always worked with. I've always worked with the developers for 20 years, and I really wanted to do what was best for them. And what they need is help overcoming opposition and building support in the community so that they build the best projects for their communities.
I love that. It's sort of a way to make the world better.
Absolutely.
Through exponentially through your clients. All right, Chris in Seattle. Hey, Chris. Chris is saying, how did you find time to write your book with all your work and personal obligations? So you obviously have a very busy PR agency anyway. How did you find time to write this book?
It was challenging, but really it just fit seamlessly into my schedule, the way you had it set up for us. I was actually able to take a 2-week trip to Europe, a 1-month trip to Hawaii, another 10-day trip to Hawaii, 2 trips to Medford, Oregon, a trip to New York, and write a book and run a business. I have a college-age daughter, an elderly father, many friends, and I still made it all work. And
In 4 months.
In 4 months. And it worked.
That's amazing. Any writing tips? Somebody up here, Janet in California, is saying, how much time per day or per week did you dedicate to writing? Tell us about your writing schedule.
I'm one of those people who's sort of a surger. I don't know what the term is. What
Surge? Oh, I say burst or plod.
Burst.
Yeah, so where
I'm
you
sort
do
of
big chunks of work as opposed to, like, let's say 15 minutes a day.
Right, and you sort of suggested that many bursters will write over a weekend. That wasn't really my style, but I would sit down first thing in the morning. I'd get up at maybe 4 a.m. in California and write an entire chapter or maybe 2 chapters before I even started on client work that morning by 9:30 a.m. So to me, that really worked. And the way you had it set up for us to organize our whole writing plan in an Excel spreadsheet, essentially.
She's a nerdy girl like me.
I love the Excel spreadsheet.
Not everybody likes that part. It's okay.
It's okay. It doesn't work for everybody, but it really worked for me. And so as I went through the chapters and I would start writing, I never had that writer's block or the blank page problem, because I knew exactly what I was going to be writing about. So it was very
Okay, one
exciting.
more question for you, and it might be some of those trips, but did you build in any rewards for yourself along the way when you'd finish a chapter or you finish your manuscript? Did you?
I did finish about half of my book before I went to Europe with my daughter. And then I met her in Spain. We spent 2 wonderful days there, 4 wonderful days in southern France, and a week in Paris. And then I came back knowing that I was going to write the rest of my book when I returned. I wrote that last chapter of the first half on the plane on the way to Denmark. And it really worked. I actually set it into my phone. And then when I got back, I transcribed it into the written format. But that was a really good reward, the halfway point.
I love that. So set a reward for your halfway point. Let me bring out Katie's book here. It is Yes Vote, the public hearing plan for developers. Congratulations on your book.
Thank you, Angela.